Well, hi there folks. Something a bit different today from the usual run of action cameras that are on my channel. This is the Caddx Orca, which is a tiny little 4K FPV camera. Well, they call it an FPV camera, but it actually records to a card. Records in 4K. It's got EIS, that's gyro stabilization. Primarily designed for racing drones, but also used as an action camera with an easily available and very cheap mount. Quality from my videos is easily as good as some of the £100 action cameras I've got, and of course it's light, small, unobtrusive. I've ordered a couple of mounts. I bought one of these little gadgets from Banggood, which means I can mount it on a drone. I've got some test clips coming up in a bit. Or with one of these clips I can mount it on my paragliding or paramotoring helmet, and it won't stick up half as much as a great big action camera. But all in all, I thought it was remarkably good. Currently priced at 76 quid. I'll put a link down there for it. Before we take a closer look, let's see what else you get here. You get micro USB charging lead, and you get this little mask which looks like it's supposed to stick on the front here, probably to stop reflections in certain use modes. Not quite sure actually, they don't explain that. And of course you get the manual, which is very good. So let's take a little closer look at the camera. 160 degree wide angle lens, which is 10 degrees less than the 170 that most action cameras are. Just two control buttons. The big one is power, long press turns it on. The small one is shutter and Wi-Fi, because to change settings with this you do need to install a Wi-Fi app. Now, everybody knows how to do that, you've probably got hundreds on your phone. I'll show you it in a bit. On the back here you've got a tiny little rubber cover, and I can't get this open, that covers up the micro USB charging port, where also you can plug in, of course, to retrieve your files. It sees the camera as an external drive. And you've got the micro card slot. Card is not supplied, of course, which isn't dead easy to get out, but I'll try. Need longer nails really. Now it takes up to 256 apparently. You do need a good quality card, at least class 10. U3, which is higher speed, and this is V30, which is a decent high speed card. I'm using 64 gig, and the card goes in that way. On the subject of cards, they recommend that you format the card in the camera, or you may get corrupt files. Now to do that, it's a question of going into the settings in the app, which I'll show you shortly, and just asking the camera to format the card. Now operation of it is dead simple. Power it up, long press, and you may see there's a little red light there which shows it's on, and it's flashing, which means it's already recording. Default is start recording when you turn on. Now the light on the front also has the significance of showing what resolution you're in. I'll stop recording by a short press of the shutter button and then show you how you scroll through to get the different resolutions. Stop. Now if I do short presses of the power button, I can scroll through 4 different resolutions. One press changes to green. That's 1080 at 120 frames a second, which is a good frame rate and resolution for most action sports. Speaking of which, action sports, because this is so small and light, you could actually easily mount it on the front of a skateboard, on a radio controlled plane, or obviously on a drone, which is basically what they're intended for, I think. Okay, another press. Blue light is 1080-60, equally good for action sports and so on. Another press is yellow, which is 120 frames a second at 720. Press again, I'm back in red light, which is 4K. Anyway, that's how easy it is to use. Now let's take a look at the Wi-Fi app. Now I've already installed the Wi-Fi app. It's just a question of either going to Google Play or the App Store and looking for Caddx FPV. I'll put a link on the screen. So to connect to it, it's a question of, obviously when it's turned on, long press of the Wi-Fi button. And now you may see there's a little yellow light flashing. That means it's waiting to connect to the app. I'm sure you know how to do this stuff. Comes up as Caddx. it's going to connect. The password for that initial installation is 12345678. You can actually change that in the settings. Then we go into the app, enter camera, and as you can see we're connected with very little lag. That's the time difference between the movement and what you're seeing. Connected to the app, you can stop-start video, easy for a start, get a bing, stop. You've got gallery, so you can go in, download, check out your clips that you've got. I don't know if you can share, let's see. No, you can't share because I often get asked that, and I doubt if you can live stream. People always ask me, can you live stream? Delete, download, right. Come back out of that. So, but of course the most important thing about the app is the only way you can change settings is with the app. And everyone knows that little cog means settings, don't they? Once you go into settings, you've got two menus. The first one that comes up lets you change resolution, audio on or off, video encoding. Default is H.264. You can also choose H.265, which is a different packaging of your video. My video edit program won't edit H.265. You change metering mode, white balance, shutter exposure, ISO, that's film speed if you want, lens distortion. EIS as default is actually off, so you want to turn that on. Default bitrate, that's how much data is being collected in the video, is medium. I changed that to high. All the other stuff I left at default. Plus you've got device settings. I mentioned formatting the card. SD format is there. I'm not going to do it there. Basically, well, I will do it. I'll show you. I'm sure you want to format the card. Yeah, that just basically wipes everything off. Factory reset if it all goes pear-shaped. Start action, normal video, or last mode, or loop video, or time lapse. I've got a bit of time lapse in my clips. Slow-mo, video and photo. Auto sync time, that's pretty obvious. Inversion mode obviously just means it turns the image the right way up if you're using upside down on a drone. I think that covers everything there. As far as battery life goes, I did a continuous test at 1080 120 and got just about an hour and a quarter, which is pretty much the same as most action cameras, or maybe they give you an hour and a half. It does get pretty warm when it's recording, especially when it's recording 4K, but that's to be expected. I believe it's got a Sony sensor, not that you might care much about that. One thing I do really like about this is the fact that it's got this flat glass on the front covering the lens, which makes it so easy to wipe or clean if you actually get a few splurts on it like that. What else is there to say? The weight is 57 grams, a bit lighter than most action cameras, and it will record while it's charging. So potentially you could record for longer than the 1 hour 15 minutes that I got. Anyway, that just about sums it up. What else can I say? Overall, I was very impressed with this camera. Video quality was good, lens was crisp and sharp, colours were nice, easy to use, and I thought the quality compared very well to the GoPro Hero Session 5, which was a 4K EIS camera, now discontinued, but that was getting on for twice the price of this. So at £76, I don't think you can go far wrong with this. If you've got any other questions, please stick them down in comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. But that's it for now. If you've enjoyed the channel, please check out some of my other videos. There are more drone stuff, radio controlled model aircraft, paragliding, paramotoring, wildlife, bit of sailing, tech stuff, all kinds of stuff. Bound to be something there to keep you amused while this COVID rubbish is going on. But that's enough for now. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Let's get on with the test clips. Right, so here are the test clips, starting off with some drone footage that I shot on my hobby grade, they call it hobby grade, Bayang Toys X21, which does have double GPS, return to home, all that kind of stuff, and I do fly FPV, plus it's got a great big heavy motorised gimbal on it, and I've mounted the camera on that and had to put a lead counterweight on there because it is used to having an action camera on it. But check out the footage. It's winter time, obviously, or it's very late now, autumn, low sun, been rainy all day, just stopped for half an hour so that I could get out and get some footage, but it'll give you an idea of what the camera can do. There's also some footage I shot around local town on a nice sunny afternoon, which shows the colours and the lens sharpness and so on. A little bit of time lapse, a little bit of mountain biking, I think that just about covers it. Anyway, check them out, take a look, see what you think. I think it's good value for the 70 odd quid that it costs. Here are the test clips. Okay, well here's a bit of 4K, EIS is on, and I like this scene because you've got some good definition on rigging and the boats, and you've got some good distance there way over to Torquay. And just look at the couple of cruise ships out there. We've had 10 or 12 cruise ships anchored here since the COVID crisis because they've got nowhere to go. And just for the test, it's the same thing but at 1080. But it gives me a chance to compare the definition of both. As you can see, the tide's out. Someone pulled the plug out. Paynton Harbour this is, in the southwest of England. Right, this is a bit more 1080. As I say, I'm not quite sure if it's at 60 frames a second or 120. Into the sun. I think it's a 160 degree wide angle lens on this, which is 10 degrees narrower than most action cameras. Right, this is a 4K shot. I like the colours in this, plus it gives you a good chance to look at how good the focus is and the detail at distance as well as closer in. Right, this is 1080 at 120 frames a second. EIS on. Bumpy track.